السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والشكر لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Respected President and all members of the Executive Committee, Mr. Chairman and all Board of Trustees, our Imams, we are living in a different world. And one of the fundamental natural process of our life is about change. When I saw Congresswoman Manx speaking, it just brought me somewhere else. She reminded me about a young girl who came to this country when she was only 7 years old as a refugee, and now she is sitting in the Congress, Ilhan Omar. She reminded me about a woman that her background country is not yet an independent country, Palestine. Sister Rashida Tlaib, she is now a congresswoman. So all this reminds me about that one day, inshallah, Jamaica Muslim Center will produce someone to sit in Congress. Maybe in the City Hall, maybe in the White House, who knows? But one thing you have to know that this life change. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. On that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rotate human beings. The powerful become weak and the weak are becoming powerful. There is no such status in this life. Everything is changing. So what is happening today can change tomorrow. The ayat of the Holy Quran that talk about movement represent about changes in life. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍّ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ وَالْقَمَرَ قَدَّرْنَاهُ مَنَازِلَ حَتَّى عَادَ كَالْعُرْجُونِ الْقَدِيمِ لَا الشَّمْسُ يَنبَغِي أَن تُدْرِكَ الْقَمَرَ وَلَا اللَّيْلُ سَابِقُ النَّهَارِ وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. In other words, that every planet, every star runs on its orbit, on its own orbit. So when it's moving, when they are moving, it is illustrating as they are swimming. Now, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word as-sibaha or swimming? Because when you swim, you have to move. And if you don't move, you're going to be drowned. And when you're drowned, you're going to die. If we don't move in this life, and if we are not anticipating changes, we are going to die. So what is my point, basically, my brothers and sisters, that this community must move. Today we are facing a new generation. Our generation yesterday is quite different from our generation today. And I used to call our generation today is a generation of wise. Everything is about wise. A young teenager asked me this question a long time ago. I mentioned this several times. Why pork is not allowed? So why you ask that question? He said, because my friend in the school says that it is one of the most delicious food. So he asked them, he said, Allah says in the Holy Quran. And then he said, why Allah says that in the Holy Quran? Why? So it's difficult to answer, but I say, are you driving? How old are you? 17. Are you driving? He said, yes. When you drive and you have this traffic light, you stop or not? Stopping. Why you stop? Because we are worried about crashing. So if you're sure there's no car coming from the other side, are you crossing the red light? He said, no. So why? He said, because maybe there's a camera around. If you're sure that there's no camera around, are you crossing the traffic light? He said, no. Why? Because maybe the police is waiting on the other side. How about if you're sure there is no police? Are you crossing the traffic light or not? He said, no. Why? He said, because that is the law. I said, that is the law. The answer is the same, but our generations is in need of communications. That's what I mean change, my brothers and sisters. And our community is changing. And that's why we are here tonight, because we want to see Jamaica Muslim Centers move on. Moving forward. Seeing that we are living in a very different world. My brothers let me end with this, because I'm sure that tonight we need our Imam to come here instead of myself. Imam Jafar. Because he's going to move us. Let me end with this. The world where we live in, and I mentioned this yesterday at the United Nations basically, is called globalized world. And it is being characterized by three main characteristics. Number one, it is deeply competitive. Competition is very deep. And in every aspect of human's life. Economically, United States and China is fighting economically. Competition. Politically, culturally, militarily. Not only that, even in the field of Dawah. How many Americans, they know that I'm from Indonesia. They came to me and say, I wanted to learn Indonesian culture. I know from his face, the way he talked, that he's a missionary. He's going to Indonesia to spread his teaching. So I asked, are you a missionary? Normally he smiled. I say, okay, don't worry. You don't have to be worried. I'm also a missionary here. I'm here to preach my teaching. But let me just tell you, when you go to Indonesia, I just want to remind you, follow the rules of the land. As I am following the rule of the land here. But let me just tell you this. Those that you can influence Indonesia are the poor, I'm sorry to use this word, stupid, non-educated. That's what you can influence. But here in America, I have to tell you, with all my pride, that by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, many of those who embrace Islam are educated, young, professional, rich. That is the competition in Dawah. So Christian people are going everywhere else to spread their teaching, but we are here responsible to show, not only to spread, to preach Islam, but to show Al-Islam inshallah. Competition is very important. We are living in a very competitive world. And Jamaica Muslim Center must be ready to compete with others. Not with other masjid, but other house of worships. Other methodology, how they can attract the young people to come to the masjid. We are competing. Number two, we are living in a very small world now. The fast information, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, made our world has become even smaller. All human beings are living under the same roof in 24 hours. And Muslims must be in the front line, instead of building conflict, building partnership. And it's not new for us, because the Quran says, لِتَعَارَفُوا يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَىٰ وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. And when we are engaged in an interfaith and inter-dialogue, it is not about that we need it because we are minority. Because the Quran wants us to build dialogue with everybody else, build connection with everybody. We are interconnected. It's called interdependence world. But finally, the most important is that we cannot live without empowering our own selves. We cannot depend on others. So here tonight, my brothers and sisters, I'm sure you are here tonight, not only because 5,000, not only because 500, because you are envisioning a big community in the future. You are envisioning someone who is like Congresswoman Man. You are envisioning someone who is not necessarily like Trump, but someone who is sitting in the White House, not to be impeached. Muslim can sit one day because America is still a hopeful country. We have a very high optimism and hope that inshallah we can succeed and we can thrive here in this country, inshallah ta'ala. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you, inshallah, to move your hands and do every possible way. It is not for us, it's not for you only here tonight, but for our future generation and community, inshallah ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.